Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be talking about the latest class in Krunker.io, the Commando. The Commando is identical to the Triggerman in terms of HP, movement speed, and secondary weapon, with the main difference being the Commando has the newest weapon in Krunker.io, the FAMAS, a 3-round burst assault rifle. This video is going to be split in 2 parts. The first part is me talking about this gun, how you should go and use it, what classes it's good against, which classes it's bad against, and then in the second part, we're going to hop into Krunker.io and get some live gameplay. So without further ado, let's quickly talk about the stats. The FAMAS has a base body damage of 28 and a headshot damage of 42, making the FAMAS one of the hardest hitting guns in the game. However, this is countered by a 300 millisecond delay between bursts, which is an extremely important property. Basically, if you miss your first burst, you are dead. Now, since the FAMAS has a base 28 damage per shot, hitting 3 body shots in a row, so 1 burst right into the chest, means you won't be able to go and kill a 100 HP class and then barely killing a sniper. That means if you're aiming at the body only, the FAMAS is pretty terrible and has one of the worst time to kills in the game due to delay between bursts. From this, you would think the FAMAS is an underpowered weapon. However, the true key to using this gun correctly is getting headshots. Hit a headshot and then 2 body shots, a sniper is dead. Hit 2 headshots in a row and then a body shot, any 100 HP class is dead, and so you can one burst people very quickly if you aim correctly. Now from this, people are going to say that the FAMAS is an overpowered weapon because the potential to one burst a 100 HP class is pretty insane. However, in reality, it's not so simple. Because Krunker.io is a game defined by its movement, i.e. the slide hopping mechanic where you can get a ton of speed, it's incredibly hard to track somebody that is moving very fast, despite the game's very generous head hitboxes. This means you have to keep your aim perfectly on the opponent's head while the gun is firing and while they're moving, which is especially difficult if your opponent can move very well and they have a ton of speed. This means that the FAMAS can feel really bad at times, because if you miss your headshots just even slightly, the enemy will have a ton of health left, and the delay between bursts means you're pretty much dead if you don't one burst somebody. It can also feel really good using the FAMAS, because one burst in a class by getting 2 headshots and then a body shot is amazing, making the FAMAS, in theory, one of the lowest time to kill rifles in the game. Now, the talk of Krunker.io for the next month or so will be, what's better, the AK-47 or the FAMAS? Now, in my opinion, I prefer the AK-47 because it's more consistent. If I miss the first shot or 2, I can correct my aim a little bit and still get the headshots and still get the kill. However, when you're using the FAMAS and you miss the first 1 to 2 headshots, that means you have to wait 300 milliseconds for another burst to come through, and any decent player will be able to kill you. This means that the FAMAS has a very small margin of error, and if you go and make a very small mistake, it will go and cost you your life. But with that said, it has a very high skill cap. If you can aim perfectly at somebody's head and track somebody moving really fast, the FAMAS is one of the best weapons in the game. And so it's really going to go and shake up the really top end of Krunker.io, how people go and use this gun to try to just dominate people with their insane aim. Before I show you guys some live gameplay, I want to talk about specific matchups, and in particular, the FAMAS, the Commando class versus the Sniper. In my opinion, the FAMAS is a direct counter to the Sniper, because if you go and hit 3 shots to the chest, you will go and kill the Sniper. And if you go and get 1 headshot and then a body shot, you will go and get the kill as well, so it's pretty insane. Now, when we're talking about the Triggerman versus the Commando, the AK-47 versus the FAMAS, in theory, the FAMAS should go and win. However, it really depends on the skill of the player, how fast the AK-47 user is moving in game. Because the AK, he can just spray that 30 bullets really easily. The FAMAS, there is, a very big period between bursts, so you have to go and factor that in. So basically, it's a skill-dependent matchup. Now, because Krunker.io basically has a rock, paper, scissors system of countering classes and all that, there has to be a counter to the FAMAS, and in my opinion, that's the light machine gun. The light machine gun has 170 HP, that's an incredible amount, and you can go and take a full burst to the head from the FAMAS, which is a really powerful characteristic. Now with that said, the light machine gun, if you can bunny hop correctly, you can get an insane amount of speed. That added in with your health and the fact that LMG does good damage, you can destroy FAMAS users all day if you're good enough, so please keep that in mind. Alright guys, we've hopped in game, a little bit of free-for-all Sub-Zero, and we're using the new weapon in Krunker.io called the FAMAS. Now, I've talked a lot about like the performance stats of this weapon in that review, so I'm gonna first mention, man, this gun, it looks absolutely awesome. The model, like, look how cool this model is. I am really happy with the designers of the Krunker weapons. I feel like a lot of them are really awesome. And so with that said, I just want to give a little quick shout out before we talk a little bit more about this gun. Now, the first little nuance about this gun that I didn't talk about in my review is the fact of the recoil. Have a look. So I'm just going to aim down sight and just click. I'm not going to be moving my mouse. Look how high the recoil kicks on this weapon, which is considerable compared to, let's say, the AK-47 and other weapons in this game. There is quite a lot of recoil on this weapon. Now with that said, if I'm pulling down slightly, as you can see, I can go and group my bullets together, but it's really dependent if you can go and just move your aim down slightly. So at longer ranges, this gun can be a little bit difficult to deal with. And so at the longer ranges, I finally got that headshot, but I missed the first one. Not because of the kick, just because of my bad aim, but you guys get what I mean. So this gun, it's really dependent on you as a player, and at long ranges, a little bit of the gun as well. So let's move over to the AK-47. See how the recoil is very consistent. It just goes up a little bit, but it holds there. But because the FAMAS is up, down, it can get a little bit wonky if you're firing off multiple bursts. So it's really important that if you're going and using the FAMAS, you have to be aware of that. And so if I'm holding a spray, and look at that recoil. It's staying at that one level. It's not going any higher, which means it's very easy for me to control the recoil because I basically don't need to at all. So that's one thing I really want to go and point out with AK versus FAMAS. Going back to the FAMAS though, I feel like this weapon is a bit of a mixed bag. If you're a really good player, this gun can feel like an absolute dream because getting those headshots, it just feels so satisfying. But also, if you don't get those headshots, this gun can feel extremely bad, and you just want to go and swap right back onto the AK-47. But then you get dominated by people that use the FAMAS, and overall, it's a bit of a mess. It really is. It really depends on you as a player. I personally feel like the FAMAS is a weird gun because it has star power. If you can go and aim at the head, you can absolutely dominate people. But with that said, the FAMAS is also one of those weapons where if you just miss a lot like I do, it feels kind of bad. I feel like the purpose of this weapon is going to be as more like a supportive role, right? If you're sitting at the back, like medium to long range, I feel like the FAMAS is really good. But at closer ranges, the AK-47 and SMG, it's just way easier to go and get those headshots and dominate the opposition. So it really depends on who you are as a player. Now with that said, I'm more of a close range in your face type player, so I'm not going to be using the FAMAS as much. But I know a lot of people that would sit a bit more further back and aim for those headshots. They're going to be absolutely loving the FAMAS. Like, look, if I'm just sitting here and taking this cover right here, someone's peeking, I pull down my mouse, look at that, bang, straight in the head, and they're dead. So it really depends on your play style. So it's not like a direct, is this gun better than this gun? It depends on the scenario, it depends on how good you are as a player, and also it depends on a lot of factors. So I feel like that's a cool thing, that this game can have lots of different weapons, and also take it on two people at once can be a little bit difficult when you're using the FAMAS. I know I got the 2 kills there, but I definitely should have. Oh man, I wanted to zip past him with the knife. So yeah, the FAMAS is a bit of a weird gun, but I do really enjoy it, and I will pick it up from time to time. But like, come on, the AK-47, if you can go and just dominate people with that gun, it can go and do wonders. But against snipers, the FAMAS is really good, so please keep that in mind. Against, the sniper, the FAMAS is a very good assault rifle. But also, against a lot of other classes as well, if you can aim for that headshot. So let's go. So I just missed a ton there, and it just feels really bad. But if I swap over to, let's say, the AK-47, it just feels a lot more comforting, where I can just spray down and get those kills. So personally, I feel that the AK is a better gun for me. with all of that said, hopefully guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go and give it a like rating. Make sure to go and subscribe for more Krunker.io videos, man. Keemstar's tournament that's going to be coming out. The amount of publicity this game is getting, absolutely insane. I'm going to be cranking out more Krunker content, you know, trying to on the daily. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes all the way from down under.